Hey folks, 3.17 patch notes have come out, and I just want to say they should have called this POE 4.0 because the changes are huge. New endgame bosses are coming. There's the Eldritch Horrors, the Searing Echarch, the Eater of the Worlds, the Black Star. Very interesting. The Conquerors are now going the way of the Shaper Guardians. They're going to basically be a post-endgame content, which is probably accessible by a map, and so no longer are we hunting Cirrus. The Atlas itself, huge changes. We're going to be adding a new passive tree. This passive tree... It's as big almost as the original passive tree we do for our characters. Instead of having individual regions like Haywark Hamlet, Valdo's Rest, we're going to have this giant passive tree where we can customize our endgame experience. This might mean different drop rate, like certain items drop corrupted. It might mean, Harbingers spawn in a certain area. Tremendous customization. I'm very excited for it as someone who crafts my own builds. There are some new gems coming. We can now apply marks on hit, which is going to be great for things like Frostbomb. Very nice because historically now we've only been able to do hex touch support, where it's just the hexes. Back in the old days they didn't have hexes and marks; they were just curses. But now with marks you have to self-apply or use very customized gear. But now we have this mark on hit support. You will also have a divine blessing support. Now we can apply our auras as blessings, which is almost like a buff or a war cry, and we can use it in a way to apply like hatred, let's say. You don't want to reserve 50% of your mana with hatred. You can just use hatred as a skill now, and hatred becomes a blessing, which is a temporary effect, but it's a buffed effect, and it costs 50% of your mana. There's ways to mitigate that. They're removing prophecies. I'm going to miss Navali. She's the Deckard Cain of PoE, but they're getting rid of prophecies. A lot of hit-based spells are getting buffed, which is interesting, like Ice Spear, Absolution. However, the support gems, which are like added elemental damage, added chaos damage, they're getting nerfed. Void Fletcher is getting nerfed, which is a huge part of my old Ice Shot build. They're nerfing Hydrosphere with a 1-second cooldown between hits. They're nerfing the damage of Toxic Rain. They're nerfing Seismic Trap. They're expectedly nerfing Strength of Blood, which was a way to... You could basically get immunity to damage. It was a very expensive setup, but there was a way to get damage immunity with life recovery. There's the League itself. This is all the expansion I'm talking about. But the League itself, kind of like essences, you're going to be unlocking these monsters, which you go through and you fight, and then you get these addition of modifiers in a certain area. So as you unlock this one boss that comes out, you attack it, you kill it, and then the next boss keeps those modifiers and then upgrades on top of it with additional modifiers, kind of ultimatum style, where you go through different waves, except that you can choose them at your own pace. Sounds like a mix of essences with ultimatum, but other than this, the main thing is this giant tree at the end of the game, and so I wanted to just kind of touch on this in my typical 3-minute style. We'll see how this goes. Very excited.